Are you craving a trip on Space Mountain? Well, we've got the next best thing. Welcome to Dizney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Dizney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePauli, and welcome to the House of Mouse headlines for the week of May 17th, 2020, brought to you by laughingplace.com, your up-to-date resource for the latest Disney news every day of the week. In this week's news, Frozen melting on Broadway, Hamilton's early streaming debut, a fan favorite returning to Muppet Babies, and more, so let's get to it.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
With Disney Spring set to begin phased reopenings on May 20th, some resort cast members got some good news this week. According to Unite Here 362 Union President Eric Clinton, more than 100 custodial workers are being called back in for the reopening. Clinton also said that Disney will provide the custodians with masks to wear, and we're told that the public will be required to wear face coverings as well. Of course, with more than 100,000 employees furloughed across the Walt Disney Company, this is a very small fraction of cast members heading back to work. Still, it's the first step in returning to some sort of normalcy. Staying at Disney Springs, while the May 20th reopenings will only include select operating participants, it is expected that some Disney-owned locations will be included in Phase 2 reopenings. This news also came from union leader Eric Clinton, who told The Hollywood Reporter that retailers like World of Disney, as well as Disney-operated dining locations such as Deluxe Burger, were planning on opening May 27th. Of course, there will be new safety measures in place, such as plexiglass being installed in front of registers. Meanwhile, there's no word on further phases or when the Walt Disney World theme parks might open their gates. It looks as though the Great White Way will stay dark at least until the fall, with Broadway theaters now set to remain closed through September 6th. What's more, with the extended closure, Disney Theatrical has announced that Frozen has ended its run and won't return when theaters do open back up. Speaking to the New York Times, Disney Theatrical President Thomas Schumacher said that the decision was made because of the uncertainty that tourists will flock to the theater anytime soon, making it difficult for the company to have a trio of shows playing. As he said, 3 Disney productions will be one too many. While the news is surprising and sad, there was a silver lining as Schumacher noted some other productions that Disney is developing. This not only includes an expanded version of Hercules teased by Alan Menken, but also productions of The Jungle Book, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, The Princess Bride, and more. Meanwhile, at this time, Disney has no plans to close down The Lion King or Aladdin on Broadway, so you'll hopefully still have the chance to catch those when the Broadway lights are shining once again. As a huge theater fan myself, it is very concerning to see a large company like Disney ending a show's run. I think it's only a matter of time before we see other Broadway shows make the same decision, as they're all still paying rent to the theaters while making no money month after month. Speaking of Broadway, one of the biggest theatrical sensations of the past decade or more is about to come to your living room. You will soon be in one of the many rooms where it will happen. This week, it was announced that the filmed production of Hamilton would be available to stream on Disney Plus starting July 3rd, just in time for the Independence Day weekend. If you'll recall, the movie, which was filmed on stage in 2016 just before the original cast leads began disbanding, was originally announced to be hitting cinemas October of 2021. But with this pandemic at play and the show's tours being cancelled as a result, it seems a deal was worked out to move up the release by more than a year. Now the real question is whether the film will be at all edited, considering that the production includes some not-so-Disney family-friendly language. I assume that some changes will be made. I personally am adamantly against making changes to works just to suit a Disney Plus audience, but I'm sure that Lin-Manuel Miranda was consulted about this due to his relationship with Disney, and probably legal reasons, so I guess why should I care if the original creator is okay with this? I guess we'll have to find out together when Hamilton comes to Disney Plus this July whether or not these changes are actually made. On another note, as much as I'm happy about this news, I also find it to be a strange choice. When Disney planned on sending this movie to theaters before Disney Plus, they would have obviously made a lot of money. But I don't see Disney Plus making even a fraction of what it would have made in theaters, mostly because it's something that people could watch just by signing up for the free trial and then canceling after viewing. It's not comparable to a hit like Mandalorian, where people will continue to tune in week after week. I'll be curious to see whether or not Disney Plus gets rid of that free trial offer around the time of the Hamilton release. Back when the Walt Disney Company first unveiled the Disney Plus platform to investors, it was announced that a behind-the-scenes series about the making of Frozen 2, titled Into the Unknown, would be coming to the service. Now, we finally know when that will happen. All 6 installments of the docu-series will start streaming on June 26th. To be fair, it's likely that this release was meant to accompany the streaming debut of the movie before that date was moved up amid lockdowns. In any case, the series promises to show the hard work, imagination, heart, fun, and intensity that goes into making one of the most highly anticipated Disney animated features of all time. So get ready for a big summer blowout as all episodes of Into the Unknown, the making of Frozen 2, arrives on June 26th. A few weeks ago, it was reported that actress Rosario Dawson would be portraying beloved Clone Wars character Ahsoka Tano in the 2nd season of The Mandalorian. Now it seems that more characters from that animated series will be making the jump to live action as well. According to Deadline, Katie Sackhoff, the voice behind Bo-Katan in both Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, will be playing the character on The Mandalorian. For those unfamiliar, Bo-Katan debuted in Season 4 of Star Wars The Clone Wars and is considered to be a major part of a plotline featuring the Dark Saber. If that nerdiness went over your head, perhaps it will all make a little more sense when Season 2 of The Mandalorian arrives on Disney Plus this October. In yet more Disney Plus news, it was announced this week that the moving and inspirational film Clouds will premiere exclusively on the streaming service. Clouds is the true story of Zach Sobiech, a musically gifted 17-year-old living with a rare bone cancer. The film follows Zach's journey over the course of his senior year as he navigates the complexities of love, friendship, family, and leaving behind a musical legacy. Finn Argus will star as Sobiech with Sabrina Carpenter, Madison Iceman, Thomas Everett Scott, and Neve Campbell, whom I adore, also appearing. Although no exact debut date was revealed, Clouds is expected to be released this fall. Well, if you put your money on the long-delayed New Mutants being moved to one of Disney's streaming services, you may want to reconsider that bet. After letting the film temporarily fall off of its theatrical slate, Disney has announced that the 20th Century Studios horror thriller will now hit the big screen on August 28th. Meanwhile, another 20th Century film, Ron's Gone Wrong, has been pushed from February 2021 to April 23, 2021. Will the New Mutants actually make it to the theaters after more than 2 years of delays? We'll have to wait until this summer to know for sure. When Disney Jr. revived the beloved animated series Muppet Babies, fans noticed that they did away with the character of Skeeter, instead introducing a new penguin character named Summer. Well, now Muppet twins Scooter and Skeeter are coming to the series for an episode set to air on May 22nd. The characters will appear in both 11-minute segments titled When a Twin and Skeeter and the Supergirls. If you're feeling nostalgic and want to pay a visit to Miss Nanny's Playroom, you can catch these episodes of Muppet Babies on Disney Channel or in the Disney Now app. With so many of us still stuck at home, we've recently seen several TV show and movie casts reuniting online. Among the latest to follow this trend was Lizzie McGuire, with many of the show's cast and crew talking to Instagram for a live, social distance table read of one of the show's most famous episodes, Between a Rock and a Bra Place. Joining star Hilary Duff were Jake Thomas, Hallie Todd, Robert Carradine, Adam Lamberg, Lalaine, and more, along with the episode's writers, Nina and Jeremy Bargiel. During the stream, the cast encouraged those who could to donate to some of their favorite charities. You can catch the full table read on Hilary's Instagram, and hopefully Lizzie McGuire fans will be able to see the Lizzie McGuire sequel series on Disney+, Hulu, or somewhere down the road. That's going to do it for the news this week, so let's get to this week's Twitter poll where I asked you folks, in honor of George Lucas's birthday this week, of the following, which Lucas-inspired attraction is your favorite? Your options were Star Tours, Captain EO, Indiana Jones Adventure, or Smuggler's Run. In last place, with once again 0% of the votes, was Captain EO, followed by Smuggler's Run with 11% of the votes. Star Tours got 33% of the votes, and the winner is Indiana Jones Adventure with 56% of the votes. Do you agree with these results? Cast your vote in the Twitter poll every week by following Disney CTC on Twitter. That's DIZNEY CTC. Now, folks, before I go, I'd like to remind you to check out this past Wednesday's episode of Disney Coast to Coast, where we had a Muppetational episode in honor of Kermit's 65th birthday and the anniversary of Muppet Vision 3D. On this upcoming Wednesday's episode, we honor this year's graduating seniors with a bit of a Disney twist. Don't miss out on any of the magic by subscribing to Disney Coast to Coast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more podcast listening platforms. To help me keep bringing you all free episodes of Disney Coast to Coast and gain some cool rewards, head on over to patreon.com/DisneyCTC. That's patreon.com/DIZNEYCTC. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePauli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com.